like the weather, stick around. It'll
Yeah,
change.
exactly. Now to our ABC 15 investigation tonight. It's a ministry that detractors say is fueled by fear.
Yeah, they preach right here in the Valley. They could be coming to your church, but the question is it truth or is it distortion?
ABC 15 investigator Jim Osman now with what we found in this undercover investigation.
Religion is a very personal matter. The mere discussion of religion can lead to arguments and, in fact, has led entire countries to war. Tonight, the question is, how can you practice your faith and still respect the beliefs of others? You're going with us undercover to explore a religious world right here in the Valley, where some say they're preaching fear. It's a matter of faith and a matter of choice. Faith in a creator, the choice to believe. You're free to pray, and so is your neighbor.
They're very good at brainwashing. Everything is based on emotions.
But what happens when your neighbor starts targeting your religious beliefs?
I think it speaks volumes of any group of people that will teach their people how to deceive.
Tonight, in an ABC 15 investigation, we'll take you undercover right here in the Valley.
I think that just lends itself to hatred.
Inside churches where someone may be taking aim at your house of worship.
How sad is that for any religion to put that kind of fear?
You'll hear what one side calls preaching distortion, lies, and fear.
Is it preaching fear? Yes, I believe it is preaching fear.
And the other side calls preaching the truth. The Valley is a diverse place with diverse people. And as you're about to see in our undercover investigation, the Valley is on the front lines of a potentially explosive religious battle. Preacher Jim Robertson runs one of many busy ministries in the Valley.
Ours is strictly done in love.
Robertson packs churches all across the Valley with people anxious to hear what he has to say. For Preacher Robertson, his religion is his life's calling. As most of us know in our own lives, matters of faith are highly personal and highly charged. To these women from Gilbert, their religion is important as well. They are a handful of thousands of believers whose religion is targeted.
What good can come from anybody that's preaching fear and hatred against another religion?
We invited them to our studios to hear the very person who wants to shake their faith.
I have a hard time understanding how anyone could believe it. Because it sounds so unbelievable. I mean, it is unbelievable.
These women are watching undercover video from a Valley church. The investigators found out about this ministry and wanted to find out what's really going on. So we sent researchers in undercover to record meetings and obtain videotape. At the podium today, a preacher talking directly about these women's religion.
They do a beautiful job of convincing the general public that they're just as Christian, if not more so, than you are. But you have to understand that is a made-up statement. That is not fact.
You're undercover inside a Scottsdale church where they've come to hear about a serious threat.
They're very good at brainwashing. Everything is based on emotions.
The man preaching is Jim Robertson. Remember what he told us about his ministry?
Ours is strictly done in love.
Robertson is an ex-mormon who spends his days preaching against the religion. But is it more than just preaching against Mormon beliefs?
I mean, there's nothing wrong. I mean, all we got to wait till to be friends with you.
Right.
But as far as dating, no, that's terrible.
And there's this statement.
Don't let your kids or grandkids go to a Mormon-sponsored Boy Scout function. One of the biggest recruiting grounds that they have. That church sponsors more scouting programs than any church in the country. And that's the reason why. They know they catch those kids at that vulnerable state in their age where they're very vulnerable to their peer pressures, and they get them sucked in.
It's sad. It is. It's just sad because it's so untrue.
These women, all members of the LDS Church, see it as a ministry of fear and hate.
Why is he so mad about it? It's interesting. You know, people believe all different things all over the world. That doesn't mean it makes us angry at them.
You've heard what his detractors have to say, and in a moment you'll hear from the man himself what drives his passion to preach that causes an entire religion pain.
The Mormon always has the answers for everything. He never asks you any questions.
The ABC 15 investigators poured through hours of videotapes. In them, Robertson preaches Mormons believe in a piece of cloth. more than Jesus Christ.
You're trusting in a piece of cloth. I trust in Jesus Christ.
That Mormons still actively practice polygamy.
We're going to talk about polygamy. If you think it stopped in 1890, you're crazy. It's still going on today just as much as it ever was.
And that women will only get to heaven if their husbands give their approval.
The woman has to rely totally on her husband about whether or not she goes to heaven. He decides, nobody else. Jesus does nothing for you.
Wow.
An LDS church leader, Don Evans, says none of those things are true.
I think he's preaching suspicion and doubt and distrust with regard to our religion.
So what does the preacher say? He didn't dodge our questions. Instead, he agreed to sit down and explain his side. Are you anti-Mormon?
No, I'm anti-Mormonism. Big difference.
So the bottom line is you think that they're just plain wrong.
Yep, that's right. We've had people say, well, you're dividing the community. Well, yeah, we are in essence. We're dividing the community. We're dividing the Christians from the Mormons.
Are you angry at the church or bitter at the church?
I'm bitter. I'm angry that they lie about what they truly believe and teach.
Tomorrow night, say Monday night, 7 o'clock right here, Brother Jim is able to return and conclude.
Robertson makes a point that he never tells audiences he hates Mormons. And in the hours of videotapes reviewed by the ABC 15 investigators, he never does. But our panel of LDS church members believe the preacher creates fear and hate of Mormons by painting a horribly distorted picture of their religion.
He doesn't understand. He just doesn't understand. I would challenge anybody to just go ask questions. If you're wondering if what he said is absolutely true, just go ask some questions.
Robertson says he will continue to speak out. In fact, he plans to expand his ministry in Chile. The preacher has his own website, but LDS church members track him online as well.